Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce many different revelations in this film by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one exciting element of Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, at the end of the day, is going to answer many of the burning questions of The Force Awakens that were not answered in The Last Jedi, that is ultimately and also going to lead to new Star Wars lore and new experiences for the audience that we have never seen before in a Star Wars live-action movie. Now, on top of all of this, we do know that J.J. Abrams has a plan in place in order to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is, which in my point of view is going to be a very hard task to complete, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that while both Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting on the second Death Star, it's described that Kylo Ren has the upper hand, nearly defeating Rey, where it appears that Rey has no chance in the fight. Now, it's explained that Kylo Ren is said to be more powerful during their lightsaber duel, since Kylo Ren is said to be tapping into the dark side further, where it's explained that Rey begins to hear the Force Ghost voice of Luke Skywalker that inspires her to get up and fight further, where she is said to exchange some saber strikes, where eventually Rey is said to respond in an angry way when Kylo delivers the truth about her parents. She is said to tap into the darkness and stabs Kylo Ren just below his chest, where he falls down on the ground. However, Rey realizes what she has done and how she went too far, and uses her Force healing power to keep him alive for the time being, and leaves him alone on the wreckage of the Death Star 2 by taking the First Order shuttle away from him. This is where Kylo eventually falls into the very depths of the second Death Star, where he begins to see a vision of Han Solo, telling him that it's not too late to make things right, where Kylo also sees a vision of himself next to Han Solo before he turned to the dark side. It's described that indirectly in the scene, the father redeems the son, that is said to be a reverse of Episode 6, where the son redeems the father. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why I feel that this particular scene is going to either create a divide between fans or is going to be a scene that's going to unite the fans. Now, the one thing that I will say here that I'm not really too sure about, and whether or not I really agree with this, is how Rey is able to literally stab Kylo Ren just below his chest and once again wins a lightsaber duel against Kylo Ren. That, to me, I feel is just too much, in my opinion. That's just my take. I feel that Kylo Ren should at the very least, win one lightsaber duel against his opponent, like how Darth Vader won against Luke in The Empire Strikes Back. We haven't gotten anything like that between both Kylo and Rey. It's always been Rey who wins, which is something that I personally disagree with, but that's just my opinion. But in this particular scene, she is said to use a new Force power that allows her to heal Kylo Ren. Now, throughout the whole entire movie, there are going to be sequences in which Rey heals specific creatures and specific characters that we all know and love that are injured in the movie. This healing power is actually said to allow Kylo Ren to stay alive for the time being, while he actually stays on the second Death Star wreckage, where Rey essentially just leaves him for dead. She just leaves him there when she boards the First Order shuttle and travels back to the world of Octu to collect her thoughts because she went too far to the dark side of the Force. Essentially, Rey begins to fall into the same footsteps as Luke Skywalker did after what he accidentally did to Ben Solo after trying to kill him and then reverting those actions. Now, with that being said, this is also said to be a moment in which eventually Kylo Ren falls into the very depths of the second Death Star due to the crashing waves. So parts of the wreckage are actually crumbling. He falls down there, falls on the ground, and sees a vision of his own father, Han Solo, telling him that it's not too late to make things right, and also sees a vision of himself as Ben Solo before he turned to the dark side and became Kylo Ren, to vividly remind Kylo of who he once was, to remember who he was, right? And this is also to be initiated by Luke's Force Ghost, in case you guys did not know. So Luke's Force Ghost is essentially creating the vision of both Han and the younger version of Ben Solo before he turned to the dark side. Basically the Jedi Knight version of Ben Solo before he became Kylo Ren. And that, to me, I think is going to be a very interesting thing to see on the big screen. The fact that they are trying to really do a reverse of what was already done in Episode 6. So, in Episode 6, it was the son redeems the father, right? Luke Skywalker saves his father, Darth Vader, and makes him come back to the good side as Anakin once more. Where in this scenario, indirectly at the very least, we have, of course, Han Solo, the father, redeeming the son, even though Han is dead. It is in the form of a vision, but nonetheless, it is indeed the father redeeming the son. That, to me, I like. I like the reverse technique by Disney and Lucasfilm, and I have to give it to them for that at the very least. So anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.